Today's podcast is brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. If your property gets damaged by a storm, it's nice to know there's a Kentucky Farm Bureau insurance agent in your hometown who's committed to making things right. Rain or shine, you can count on the great coverage and personal service you expect from Kentucky's insurance company. To request a free quote, find your local KFB insurance agent at mykfbagent.com. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
It's going well. We are on the road again.
On the road again?
On the road
We could be the jingle. Why do we have other stuff? We could sing.
But no.
Be the end of the podcast.
Let's not do that part, actually. We're at a pretty big event in Kentucky.
Some might say the biggest.
It's a big event.
We're at the farm show.
Yeah. So, we deal with coming to the wonderful Fair and Expo Center all the time. This place, large. These events that we are part of, big.
Yeah.
And you said you have some good tips for folks that are coming to the farm machinery show for the first time or any of the big events. Well, tell us some of your great tips.
So, okay, if you've ever been to the Expo Center, I'm sure you're shocked. I got opinions. By show, honestly. Farm show, if we're being upfront, is a tough one because if you come straight after work, big crowd, you got to park 17 miles away, you feel like. You, for some reason, didn't think to bring all your best friends and pile in a truck.
I did this today.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
So this is going to post probably after the farm show's over, and I understand that. But what I'm going to do, you're going to take notes, and this is going to help you next year.
You're ready.
You need to get out of bed early, and you just need to get to the show as soon as it. Honestly, I would park and be standing inside the building at like 8:30, 8:45. And why, you ask? Because if you want to actually talk to a human being at a booth and not simply be asked to sign up on an iPad for a giveaway, you go early. You can actually see where you're walking.
Uh-huh.
You can get around. You could buy food with a very short line. I mean, it is the time to be there. If you have a purpose, knock her out in the morning and then eat your lunch early, take that last lap, and get on out of here.
Right.
And then come back later for the pulls. If you're a pulls person, just know you're going to have to walk from the end of the earth to get in here because everybody else piled their 7 best friends in all their vehicles and they already got here. So you got beat here. It is part of it. But that's my biggest tip is if you can just get here at the crack of dawn and hustle through, you will actually get to talk to your reps. You'll get to look at you can touch the equipment and no child has probably touched it yet that day. It's a magic moment.
Yeah, we do the big state fair day for Farm Bureau, and we get here for the breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning to get all ready for that.
The place is empty,
and I park so close. It's so nice, and so I always park. I got a good thing coming. I come critting in, and I come in gate 2, and I park at that right at the front entrance, and I just boop, and I'm gone. I got that. I'm just deep in it. I'm like way back in the
you're a
back.
little far
I
back.
did pretty good for coming here kind of late today, but this event's pretty cool. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
Someone has to organize all this stuff.
And for some crazy reason, we convinced them to sit here and talk to us for 45 minutes during the show because nobody's going to call them.
They have nothing to do.
Nah.
Yeah. So, great guests today. I think we're slowly going to have this entire family on the podcast.
We're getting pretty dang close.
We're getting there. So
like
we're
one to go.
Chipping away here at this. So, so I think everybody's going to really love our guests today.
All right. So without further ado, I'm Renee Carrico.
And I'm Matt Hilton.
Let's get rural. All right, I'm going to get it out of the way. I'm going to call you Ellie this entire podcast.
That's fine.
Even though your name is Ella now.
That's all right.
This is Ella Firquin, and you manage this show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what the heck this job is.
All right. Well, like they said, I am Ella Firquin from Gracie, Kentucky. Like you said before, you've had one of my family members on the podcast, John David, my brother. So we grew up in a small cattle farm in Gracie and graduated Tree County High School, Murray State University, was a farm manager there for about 5 years for selling show pigs. So I went to, from there, was a 4-H agent in Henderson County, and then the opportunity became open to come up here and work. And about 2 years ago, 2024, Corinne Fetter, she was previously here between 2000 and 2015, and then she came back. They asked her to come back in this fall of 23 we were about 2 weeks out from the National Farm Machinery Show, and she said, I need to have a position open. And here we are, 2 years later, 3 farm shows later, and I am the exposition sales manager, or for this event, the National Farm Machinery Show manager. So,
okay, manage. How do you manage? There's
I don't even know.
like you walk I think a lot of our folks have probably been here, but there's some that haven't. The thing that's just mind-blowing to me is how much big, giant things are right next to each other. Mm-hmm. The stuff that people can literally get in, look at. Humongous equipment. I can't even think of the logistics of getting things in and out of here within the time, because you guys are probably go right into something else. Mm-hmm. So logistically, this is something else. So what are you doing? How do you do that? How do you get these big pieces of equipment in? How do you just organize that from the beat? Mm-hmm. I've asked you a giant question, but
that's okay.
So I think that's the biggest thing. It's like I look and I'm like, I guess all that had to come in first, and then you just work back. I mean, it's humongous stuff.
Right.
So it's really impressive.
So for the first 2 years, obviously that first year I wasn't in it from the process of start to finish. So last year I came through and I was like, all right, let's see how this plays out. It was utter chaos. Everybody. So technically speaking, the Saturday before the show is when our official opening. This is when you can move in. But unfortunately, we've got a mix between the small 10x10 booths, and we've got these massive spaces. Off the top of my head, AGCO's the biggest one. Couldn't tell you, it's massive. And I just watched it unfold. And a lot of things, as we know how life is, people have done this for 30 or 60 years, depending if you've been here for the whole time. And so I was like, there's got to be some structured way to do that. So throughout the year with our other 2 events, we're planning everything on top of each other, And I sat down with our operations crew. I said, we've got to talk about this. We've got to lay this out. What strategically makes sense, especially, so we didn't do the West Wing, the pavilion in Westall, just because with the Phase 2 building coming online, hopefully, 2027 Farm Show will be in there, and we're on track for that. But I thought, let's try the south side and the North Wing and see how it works. And so sat down with them, and we had the big layout, the floor plan. And we, from the south side here, South Wing A, B, and C, we worked from the booth on the lobby side, and we went out and worked with our on-site decorator, Fern, electricians. And so it was kind of a process as far as you lay the electricity, you lay the carpet, and then they come in. And we kind of phased it as far as, like, we started on Thursday. And the problem kind of this year that we had was the boat show came in and they left, and they were still here on Monday when we moved in on Thursday. So we were still, they were still trying to lay the floor, mark the floors, all that stuff. So it's one of those tricky things we had to figure out, just because it was on top of each other, where that was different last year.
And I've been to the boat show. We're not talking about little fishing boats. We're talking about yachts and some big old things too.
Yeah, so, RVs. And they were marking the floors in North Wing and putting carpet down and electric down, and still taking out boats out of the South Wing, all on the same day. I was getting a little nervous, but it worked out. So we started from the lobby side in, and then the North Wing, we started basically from Freedom Hall. And we did, the nice thing about the North Wing is the booths that are on the outside are the big ones. And so we just basically did those anchor spots, and we worked our way kind of to that overhead door that's on the other side. And it worked well. We did about 5-hour increments. So 8 a.m. on Thursday, we started these. You can come in to 1. Obviously, you can come in after that. And then from 1 to 6. And this is how we did that for Thursday and Friday. And so it worked well until everybody just came in, because it's what they've been doing for 30 years. So it was, like I said, it was a little chaotic there, probably I'd say between 8 and 10 on Thursday morning. But it worked out, and it smoothed out. And honestly, that process itself was better than I expected. I got a little nervous. I was a little uptight. They were like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. But this isn't the plan we set. But it worked out. And, it is what it is. They came in. They got in. And you just got to think about kind of the pieces that they've got. So, like, obviously, AgRev's got a lot of, if you haven't been out there, they've got tractors, combines. They've got the sprayer with the booms out. And then you've got Wright that's got quite a few pieces of equipment. And then you've got those that build their grain bins. That's a monstrosity in itself if you watch them, And so a lot of guys that have the upper decks, you've got to think about what they've got on their booth. And sometimes it changes and they don't tell you. So it could be one thing from the next, and you're like, okay, well, that didn't really matter, But you've got to figure out what they have, and once you can get those big pieces in, everything else just kind of falls in line.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of our non-farm listeners that find a way over here, I think they have, especially our ones that do state fair, they've seen the grain bids start being put up. Like maybe you're bringing in 4-H exhibits, and you're like, oh wow, I never thought about the fact they have to put the grain bin together at the soybean booth. I have heard people say before, oh, well, they just put that combine, like they put all that stuff together inside. And I'm like, oh, no. So I think people need to understand that some of the stuff's getting driven in.
Yes.
A lot of the big equipment. Like, yes, maybe
Barely,
they pulled
Yeah.
the head in on a trailer, something like that. But most of this stuff is getting driven in, set in its place. I mean,
Yes.
these are large pieces of equipment, and we do not put them together on site. This is not a grain bin.
No, this is not a grain bin. They pull them in on site, and one of the tricky things on that carpet too, if they've got that padding underneath it, if you turn those wheels, your carpet moves. And so they've got to re-straighten out that carpet. So that's a lot of it. And you can't, obviously, if you've ever worked a piece of machinery that's large, you can't just come in at an angle how you want to, which would be perfect and in the perfect scenario. But they'll get the equipment in it, drive it in, and then try to set it. Well, then all of a sudden your carpet's moving. So then the decorators have to come, straighten it out, get your equipment back. So it is a process.
Wow. Yeah. I think, I grew up in Louisville, and I remember as a non-farm kid, like, what is going on when you're around the city for a few days? You're like, what is going on?
The boats
The
take over.
trucks and the boots and all the folks come. So it's a huge event. Talk a little bit about, it's a huge impact on the city. I think that, urban folks in Louisville, they benefit from it. This is a big event. It's obviously big for the state to have it. And talk about that. Like how big of an impact is this to the Commonwealth, obviously to the Expo Center.
Right.
How big of an impact is this?
So this show itself brings in about $9 million. That is 20% of our operating budget for both Kick, downtown, and then this facility right here is from this show alone.
That's incredible.
Right. And so the economic impact in Louisville itself is astronomical. And I'll be honest, I don't know numbers. That's, something I haven't read in the last little bit. But I do know, like, going out to eat, we'll go a couple of steakhouses,
Have fun.
And
Have fun with that,
right. And good luck getting out there. But like for, if it's outside of this time, if they ask, what do you do? And we're like, we run this big farm show thing. And they're like, oh, we love that place. Because it brings in so much. They said those are our highest pay. Like, come in, great, farmers are great. They bring their clients in, and it is high selling for us. So alone, you look the nicer, any of the restaurants really, but it is booked. It is maxed out.
I can't. So I didn't grow up coming here. We were both from West Kentucky, and so you could come for like a day on your school bus with your FFA chapter. I missed enough school, I guess, doing other things, so I didn't go. So I didn't go till I guess I was an adult, and the amount of joy people have and the amount of states they come from, like I think that's pretty impactful too to help explain. If you've never, even if you're just a goer of it, if you've never worked a booth or functioned at it, I don't think you understand. I met two people from Wisconsin that they're like, we've been waiting 10 years to come to Farm Show, and this year it finally worked out. Like, my buddy retired, and he jumped in the truck, and we drove.
You hear different languages, too. There's folks from all over.
It's incredible. How many people are going to be here?
So we, in 4 days, about 300,000 come in.
It's unreal.
It is unreal. It's shoulder to shoulder. You walk those halls. Yesterday, it felt like it was a little lighter, but I think today has made up for it in spades. Not even just walking, but obviously parking, as we talked about. But yeah, we expect about 300,000 people through here, through the 4 days.
There was a big crowd today because Let's Get Roll was going to be in.
They
Right,
heard we were here.
They were like, well, that's the day to go then.
Thursday it is.
Thursday.
Okay, so we've talked farm show. I do think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the pulls. So North American, we always talk about the rodeo. State Fair, we talk about the concerts. Tell us about the pulls. Everybody that tried to park on the other side by the skywalk was like, where'd all these semis come from? I heard 3 or 4 people were walking in, and I want to be like, boys, you're literally staying for the pulls. Like, I heard you say it. How do you think they get them here? Like, they're in the semis. So talk to us about everyone in Kentucky just calls them the pulls. What is the significance of it?
It is the championship tractor pull that they have. And I'm going to also be honest with you on this one. I'm learning as I go with this thing because, as you probably all know, or Renee, we grew up very similar. Pigs, cattle. We've got tractors. That's not really my forte. So, but
Ours are not quite as souped up.
yeah, correct. Got a couple restored ones, not mine, but So it is massive as far as the following. It is sold out just about every night, especially Friday, or I'd say tonight too, but Friday and both on Saturday. It is, just to the top of people. And I've never walked into somewhere that has so much energy as this does. Yeah. If you've never been, it is insane. And they've got, I'd say we had 4 classes last night, and I'm pretty sure it's 4 classes and then maybe 5 on the final night. And it's just anything from 4-wheel drive trucks, 2-wheel drive trucks. You've got modified tractors. You've got, which are the loud ones. So if you've been in there, that just shakes you, rattles you to your core.
What them little boys love.
Yeah, not my favorite. I'd try to find myself elsewhere for that class. But and then you've got the kind of the souped up tractors that I think is the crowd favorite. And last night we had 4 of them had to have a pull off. We had 4 full pulls last night. So, and I'll be honest, I'm on a mission to learn what a full pull and how that is determined. I know it's the full distance, but I need to know how that's determined. So when I know, I'll let you all know.
I think we're going to have an episode 2 to find out.
Right.
So early on in my Farm Bureau life, I brought my son, okay, and man, I think his testosterone increased by 20%. I swear, I brought like noise canceling earphone, and he was like 3, and he was just like, every time he was like, yeah, when they would do it. And I'm like, I was like texting him, he is having a lot of fun. He really thinks it's cool. So we got got some Farm Bureau tickets. We were close. It was great. And he had so much fun. And yeah, it's a neat event. And we actually did a story on the Phillips last year.
Yeah.
They're 2 Farm Bureau guys, Kentucky Farm Bureau guys, and they win, they win and they compete quite well, actually. And just getting that behind the scenes of building these things the cost of building these tractors and everything. And they can just go out there and just blow it right at the start and done for the whole weekend. Yeah. So, it's a cool event and, just another reason to come to the farm show.
It is. It is a big draw. And that's what a lot of people, they come in and they'll camp. They are here all 4 days, all 5 events of the tractor pull. They are here. And if you ever come in and watch the pulls, in the top, I don't know what side it is, but we've got 2 gentlemen that I don't know how long they've been coming, but they wear these orange suits, and they've got season tickets, and they are there every single night and event that they've got, and it's just that kind of energy, it's just all around. They last night, ticket season holders, whatever you want to call them, but there is a ton of them that they send them out and they're done. They buy them when they're here for next year.
This is unreal. So, okay, we've talked about the things we're used to. We're used to seeing big equipment. We're used to seeing crowds. We're used to seeing a lot of the parking lot while we walk all the way through it. But it makes sense now, though, because we know how many people are coming. So now everyone's not going to complain to you about the parking because we justified it. What we have not talked about, though, that I think is really cool, and I've gotten to hear, just getting to talk to you really at the shows prior to this as you're planning for this one. And I think that's what I know everyone says. When this conference ends, we start planning for next year's conference. I don't think you guys understand. For those that have not been on the fairgrounds during the state fair and during North American, they're actively still planning the farm show. Like, this is the Mecca. So talk through some of the cool changes that you guys as a team have done this year. I think I've had some people texting me about some of the breakout sessions. I have seen a lot of wives buying a lot of Valentine's presents for their husbands at a merch booth. Like, talk through some of the cool things, though, that you're kind of tweaking in as you're learning this show and managing it.
Right. So the newest thing we had this year, and honestly, the attendance was not much, but at the same time, if you ever have been here, you see down our hallways we've got seminars, but all of them are row crop focused, and we've got room to improve on that one. And that I've talked to my boss Corinne. I said this is one thing we probably need to expand on, maybe diversify a little bit, but keep rolling with the momentum we have. But we lack, in my opinion, on the livestock side of things. And so we had Chris McBurney come to us with an idea, McBurney Livestock Equipment, with an idea that said, we've got to get these cattle folks in here. We've got these livestock folks in here. And so he said, let's see if we can get somebody from Cattle Facts in here and do a little symposium. So Troy Applehans with Cattle Facts came in and did on the first morning. We had Kentucky Cattlemen's. They provided donuts and coffee for everyone. And he sat in the North Wing lobby. So, and our doors don't open till 9. into the wings. And so you can come in and hang out in the lobbies. They did. They sat at the table, and I'd say there was probably about 120-ish people that were just intentionally there listening. And that is one of the things as a livestock person that excited me, because we've got, shoots. We've got, this year we actually had someone with the small ruminant equipment, so that was a new thing too as well. But we don't have anything that, when it comes to seminars, when it comes to teaching the public, teaching those that are here about the livestock industry. And so that was a step to me in the right direction, and that's something that we plan to expand on each year. The other thing is, as you mentioned, the merch booth, that's new. We have brought that in-house in terms of our communications department, and we all work together. We started that at State Fair, and then we did it for North American, and we did it. And it's interesting to see what sells at different shows. So, like, obviously, like, T-shirts are popular. We know that. But livestock enthusiasts, as I'll call them, at the North American, they like things just a little different. But then that's not going to transfer over to the farm show. And so we have 2 locations here. We've got, I think this year, they got some Carhartt just exclusive with the farm show logo on it. And so they are doing fairly well, I think, and they are busy. She just told me out in the hallway, she said, if you're bored, just you come help us, So that was new and exciting. It's something we brought in-house and something that has our logo on it, and we pushed out, and they've got like beanies and T-shirts and hats, and it's with both of our shows. So obviously the farm show and then the tractor pull. So both logos are on these things. In terms of different, exhibitors that come in that are new, honestly, I'm going to be honest, we have about a 95% retention rate.
Really?
From exhibitors. And so they're, the same ones are here year after year. So my hope is to get like the small ruminant equipment, things like that in here that's a little different, that folks would, probably draw more folks in to see. Maybe the poultry too, that's something I'd like to look in and see if that would be something that we could, work on. So.
Yeah, so I'm from around here, and I try to explain this show to folks. It's a showplace of new stuff. I think that's one thing that people don't know. I always kind of attribute it to, like, when you see Apple announce a new phone. We don't necessarily have like Tim Cook walking out talking about the phone here, but each of these dealers, these folks, they bring their best of the best here. They introduce a new thing. Well, how's that feel? That this event that you're getting to manage is the event where these dealers, these creators of all this amazing equipment, they see this is the spot where I need to announce what we're doing. How cool is that they come to Kentucky to do that? It
is pretty cool. I think I take advantage of it just because I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sounds good. Like, move on to the other thing. But the fact that you have people lined up around the booth, like, I know AgRev, they revealed a pulling tractor a Fendt pulling tractor, and the crowd around that alone was insane.
Yeah.
I know last year or 2 years ago, they unveiled some equipment at one of the booths, and I mean, just it draws people in. You can just tell that they love this kind of stuff, and it is cool. It is the fact that they love our show enough, they trust our show enough that they come back year after year, but they want to give us the opportunity to be the place where they show off their new equipment to folks. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. We saw there was quite a crowd around some kind of case combine, and it's the biggest combine I've ever seen in my life.
So it was just a combine. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It may be a space shuttle. I don't know. Somebody's looked pretty crazy. So yeah, I think that's really neat that this show that it's been here forever. It's got a reputation, but that reputation over years. Crowds that it gets, the ability of the city of Louisville to host things. It's a great city for events, with the hotels and everything that's around it. That's where these big companies are like, we're going to do it right there. We're going to do it right there. And that's why you get the international people. You get people from all over the country to come because it is the spot to do it. And something we go to is a broadcasting conference where they announcing new cameras, new stuff for video production, those kinds of things, and it's almost the same thing. It's really funny. You walk around, but it's like it's not just a bunch of cameras over here. It's a combine, but it's very similar. They're scanning badges. They're doing all this stuff that's very similar to a lot of trade shows, and so yeah, I think that's what it just says a lot about this facility, the city, our state, and kind of the way we're able to host a thing like this, and we're centrally located. It's it's a good spot to have this kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we've talked enough farm show. I mean, come on. No, it's a cool show, and it's neat that you're here. I'm gonna make you jump back because it's got to be funny. Like after it's all over, and you sort of maybe try to catch up on sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever like think to yourself, how the heck did I end up managing the National Farm Machinery Show?
110%.
Like this is, I mean, you're bringing livestock, but this is nothing to do
Right.
with what we were thinking we were
No.
going to be doing when we were kids.
No. Someone asked me the other day. They said, "How did you get here?" And I said, "I have no idea." I mean, I just, in college, I didn't know what to do, so I went to grad school, and then I finally clicked maybe some sort of development of like youth development. So obviously, I went the route of the 4-H agent. And then when this came up, I took it, and I was like, okay, well, this is a side of youth development, but at the same time, it's not. Like, it's a happy medium on that. But no, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I'd be like, you are out of your mind. That is not something I want to do. But it's been a learning experience, but it's been a good one. Just, in terms of the sales portion of it. I mean, I sold show pigs, but that's something that's like second nature to me, But this kind of stuff that is not in my wheelhouse has been, it's been learning how the trade show industry works, but also then how a lot of these guys is their livelihood. And while I sometimes don't understand that, I've got to take the opportunity to what makes him click, what makes their mind, when it comes to this trade show type stuff. And so I have learned quite a bit. Still don't understand it, but that's not for me to know. I mean, but it's been fun to learn and see how their minds work when it comes to, especially the big trade, because this is our actual trade show, as in opposed to the country store at the North American. That's not really, doesn't compare to this, nor to the state fair shops. This is an actual trade show, and so it has been a learning curve on my end, but it's been a fun learning curve, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure people are thinking, okay, we get it. It's huge. It takes a lot of planning, but this can't be all you do all year. It's just plan this. What other things are you doing? We talk about all these shows, the boat shows here. I mean, all these shows. What are you guys doing from the ag side when all these other things are happening, or what are you doing during the other ag shows here?
Right. We're boots on the ground planning as far as all three of our shows. And so, like I said, we do the Kentucky State Fair, and our department is the expositions department. And so we run the entry department. We've got sponsorships, sales. We've got animal health and compliance, and then we have Steph. We call her our historian, but she also helps with the saddle and sirloin portrait that we collection that we have. So if you didn't know, this is the largest privately owned portrait collection in the United States. So all the paintings hanging, the saddle and sirloin paintings that we own as the Kentucky State Fair Board. And it is the largest privately owned collection. So fun fact for you.
Wow.
Okay.
We're going to pass Expo Trivia one day.
Yeah.
Someone's going to ask me, and I'm going to go, I know that.
Yes. So we're planning the state fair, we're planning the North American, and we're planning the farm show. And unfortunately, it all kind of just happens at the same time. And it's not convenient at all, but that's just the kind of way the cookie crumbles. And so, like, during the actual shows itself, basically everything ceases. Like, we're in the middle of this. And then in the off months, so I'd say from about July to February, we're going nonstop. Just because State Fair's in August, North American, 2 months later, we've got the North American, and then 2 months later, we had the farm show. And we've got a little bit of time between the middle of February to about June. And so we start to get the ball rolling a little bit on the other two shows, but obviously focusing on the State Fair. And then it just kind of keeps going in that direction. So, and a lot of us are working on different things at the same time. So where I would be, sending out returning vendor applications, they're putting out and taking entries for the State Fair. So it depends on where we are throughout the year, but it's a continuous planning cycle.
So when do you have time to look at? Are you just comparing to your own shows here, or how do you figure out new and better things to do if you're so consistently doing things here?
Right. So we have within our respective shows. So I go to what's called this Farm Show Council, and last year we were in California, and then this year it's in Canada. And so different farm shows, they host them. And so it's a 2-day conference that we just go, and the first day obviously is meetings, but we talk about kind of what's different, what's new. And it is hard for us just because we are the nation's largest indoor show. Everything else is outside. So you've got, the one in Moultrie, Georgia, that one's all outside. Farm Science Review in Ohio is outside. So it's hard for me a little bit to compare what we can do here because I've got great ideas for outside because they've all got great ideas for outside. But and the one thing, too, that we're limited on, obviously, is the lack of space that we currently have. That's going to change very soon. But you kind of go to or I go to those conferences. We kind of see what works for them and obviously change that and implement it here and see if it works, those kind of things. But
yeah, I mean, you go to some of these conventions, we go to stuff, and the space is, I mean, to have everything indoors is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's always this time of year where it probably should be,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, to get all, and again, I walk in, every time I come into this thing, I go, I don't even know how they got this. You see the bay doors, and you're like, how did that, that's a big old door, I don't know how that went in there, like that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so really neat event, and you're doing a great job. This is a big undertaking, and it's well organized from what I see. I'm sure it's just an absolute disaster the whole time you're here and just wild and you're running around. But I think folks really see just a well-oiled machine, and I definitely do.
Yeah, I think that's what's important. I mean, that's everyone's goals, right? Is if there is inevitably going to be chaos somewhere, it's just make sure it's behind the scenes.
Right, exactly.
As long as you don't notice it, Mr. Fairgoer or Mr.
Yeah.
Machine Show Goer, then it's not happening, you know?
Yeah.
Controlled chaos is probably the best way to say it. But I just think it's interesting. I truly think, and we've talked about this before, we take it for granted in Kentucky, this facility. We have no idea. We'll just randomly be like, it's outdated. We need better this. We need better that. This state got a new show barn, or this state got a new this. And I'm like, man, but like the things we do have.
Right.
I mean, it's unreal. And the people that want to, I think that's what I've probably learned the most from you and a couple others that work here. People love coming to Louisville. And that just will blow some of our mind because we're like, oh, we've done this for our whole lives. It's second nature. But these people, I mean, from California, from Louisiana, from Wisconsin, they're just like, oh, we just count down the days till we come back to Louisville.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me.
And you're like, why? No, I'm just kidding. No, it is neat to have a facility like that, and we get to house some great things. And not only just our in-house shows alone, but Ace Hardware is coming in 2 weeks, and they've got 1,300 booths in there. They're taking the whole facility. And it's things like that, too, that outside of our in-house shows that you see that people, this is where they want to come. I mean, and there are some things that obviously that probably factor into why they're not here, and that's fine. But, I mean, this is a place. And when we continue to increase the space, so obviously with our Phase 1 building, and the inside of that will be 277,000 square foot. That's just the exhibit space alone. I think the total footprint is like 350. Then the Phase 2 is going to be about 220, maybe a little more. So there's no telling what we'll bring to the city, to this facility alone outside of those in-house shows. So.
Okay, and so I'm gonna flip the script here, okay? Because we need to talk about the most important thing. You two have done this more than me.
Oh boy.
Okay. What do I need to eat while I'm at the farm machinery show? There's got to be some good eats, like the unique things. What's the thing?
It's literally what he lives for. What was it for North American? What did I tell you to go eat? Oh, we went to the place you told me. Duh. It was a dessert place. It was towards the backside. I'll think of it again. But yeah, that's where we sent you.
Yeah.
This is the donut burger man.
I donut burger every year. And then
you can judge him. I am too.
I go, and me and Austin here, our tech guy, we hit up a Dodenberger while we're sitting up for ham breakfast. So yeah, I gotta know, like, if I'm coming here, like, what's the jam? What do I gotta hit?
I'm gonna be honest. It is February, but the place that probably makes a killing is the ice cream place. And you see, I'll look. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. They already got our ice cream. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, it's February. No, I would say food wise. A lot of people love a pork chop, and so we were able to get the Farmer Boy or Farm Fair, I think is his name officially. I'm so sorry, but anyways, he's got a pork chop, and it is good. He's in 3 locations. He's in the South Wing B, he's in the East Hall, and then he's over this Kentucky Proud products. All the proteins Kentucky Proud, and it is probably one of the best pork chops I've ever eaten.
Ooh!
Oh, it is good. It's boneless pork chop. Now at the state fair, I'll switch a little. At the state fair, he's in the courtyard by the West Hall, and he's got a bone-in pork chop. I mean, but it's massive, but it is good.
Yeah.
Very good. So
what's up? What's your you're here a lot.
Favorite one here? I'm an old trusty on my commodity groups. Like I gotta get me a ribeye sandwich. And I'll say this because I'm on my cattleman's board in Washington County. Shout out. We do ribeyes a lot because we cook. So sometimes I come here and I'm like, I've had a few lately and I've been getting brisket. Come on now. And let me tell you, it's hard to mess up a brisket. You got a good thing going in the back. Just keep bringing the brisket out and keep making me sandwiches. Okay. It's pretty tasty.
Okay, I'm just taking notes over here. So if you're gonna be here, you might as well, experience everything. So.
Now, are you a fan of like corn on the cob?
Oh yeah,
They're here. The one Corn Shack that's in the commodity.
They're here.
They're also. Oh yeah, they're here this year.
Okay.
So and they're right beside each other. So American Farm Boy Fair.
Oh my gosh, you can get a chop and a ear corn.
Ear corn and a chop.
I think he's got Mexican street corn too.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to go home with a bellyache.
I am. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
And you're going to have a new sweatshirt on and you're going to eat corn.
Yeah.
You're gonna make sure you get the merch.
Yeah.
Get
you
that.
got to get the swag. Yeah. What a day. What a day. So.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Well, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Yeah.
This has been long overdue.
Yes.
I was on just to give everybody the whole thing. It's going to look like Forquin. It's Furquin. We'll have enough of you on here at some point. People are going to know how to say it. So David got me on his, and then someone in the office heard it, and hence where this fun little thing started. So I blame him and Vicky for this, and Jay. And then we got John David on, and pretty much as soon as that happened, we're like, we gotta get Ellie on here pretty soon. So it's a long time coming, but I'm glad you're here.
Well, thank you guys. I've enjoyed it, and it's been fun to talk. So.
And if your phone rang, we haven't seen it.
I don't think it has, thankfully. Knock on wood, everything's okay.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Well, you've planned it so well
thank
that
you.
everything.
Thank
What's
you.
a show manager?
It's been managed so well that you nailed it. So.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Ellie, and thank you, listeners. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast and listen to some of our older episodes. And we'll see you next time on Let's Get Rural.